small, shallow draft sloop bark. I would have applied my trade between the islands, Bahamas, possibly further down in the Caribbean, and the inland rivers, up the Neuse River to Newbern, going through Hatteras Inlet here. And you heard those statistics on the tremendous number of small ships and boats that, and craft that went in and out of Okotoks Inlet. When President Lincoln instituted the blockade of the seceded Confederate States, North Carolina and Virginia had not yet seceded from the Union. He instituted that blockade roughly around 19th of April, and neither of those two states was added to the seceding states by their own votes until May. So there was a lot of confusion, if you will, about what that blockade meant, what the president had instituted, and who it applied to, and just how it would be applied. Now, I will tell you that I'm dressed the way. If you notice any resemblance between the way I'm dressed and John Rawson?
Right.
He was a government official, essentially. We dressed like bankers. A black cravat tie, a hat or not, but black tunics or long coats and pants. And so that's the way blockade runners dressed. We did not take on Confederate uniforms. We did not, in fact, in any way try to act like Confederates. We didn't fly the Confederate flag. We usually would try to fly a French flag or a British flag, even better, and pretend that we were neutral. But in any case, during those confusing first months of the war and during the summer leading up to the taking of the inlet, there have been a great number of blockade running ships, including mine, going in and out of this inlet. And we can't carry great amounts of cargo, but we can carry a few cotton bales, if you will. And cotton was our money, our credit, particularly with the Bahamas, because that was a British port. Bahamas was a colony of the British. And so they would, over in England, they would bring goods that were important to the Confederacy. They would bring those goods and stockpile them in Bermuda and in the Bahamas. And we would simply go down there and buy what we needed and bring it back. And of course it would be things like cloth, leather, copper, lead, boxes of things that we labeled farm equipment that resembled Enfield rifles, and even a few cannon. And so that was actively going on in and out of this inlet. And of course other previous speakers have mentioned not only that, the Mosquito fleet, small fleet of 5 to 6 gunboats, were going out and actually raiding the Union shipping that was going on still up and down the coast. So there was a lot of confusion in those first few months. And what I'd like to share with you, though, is how you, as island residents, would have, how you would have connected with the rest of the world. It would have been through watermen like myself who were visiting ports. It would also have been through contact with other ships that came in, and various workers and pilots and others who would have had direct communication with those, and maybe would get a packet of newspapers, would get the latest news from Boston, Philadelphia, New York, on and on. And also Charleston, Savannah, and New Orleans. Okay? And so through those means of communication, not only was the news of interest brought in and would have been disseminated to the island residents, but entertainment things. For instance, there was sheet music that was available for songs.